Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all. We welcome you all once again to the International Indian Independence Day celebrations 2024, commemorating 78th Indian Independence Day 2024 and 77th anniversary of India's independence, which is both commemorated on August 15, 2024. And this week is also commemorated as 5th National Social Work Week, that is from 15th to 21st August 2025 by the Professional Social Workers Association, by NAPSWI, and by the Social Work Fraternity. Today, as we are celebrating Independence Day, we wish to extend our Independence Day greetings and wishes to all the participants, presenters, collaborators of these celebrations. Now we are quite engaged since morning in various celebrations at home. Hope you all might have hoisted national flag at your homes as well as in your schools, colleges, institutions, organizations, or even in the communities. So this is a day where we are expressing our gratitude to all the noble souls who have sacrificed their lives, who have sacrificed their properties, who have sacrificed themselves in various aspects to bring freedom, which is now we all are enjoying. So before we get into the details, let's all together remember and express our gratitude to all those freedom fighters who have laid their lives to bring freedom to us. So before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today, as we all know, we are celebrating Indian Independence Day. It reminds us the long hard-fought battle for the liberation against the British rule, British domination, and which was led by various freedom fighters like Azad Hind Fauj, Bhagat Singh, Lala Lajpat Rai, Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, and so many. The names are endless. We cannot take so many names, each and everyone, from common man to the one, those who have motivated, everyone are equally responsible and have contributed immensely to the freedom struggle. And today, because of them, we are enjoying this freedom. Despite the expansive British Empire on which it was set, the sun never sets. The ragtag groups of liberation fighters and brilliant strategists soundly defeated the British with strong tactical mobilization and the persistence that comes from centuries of oppression. So, today, let's all remember and pay our tributes and also celebrate the victory which they have. All these freedom fighters were trapped and fought for the freedom. Today is the day to express our gratitude and also pay tribute to them and also celebrate the independence of India. This year we are celebrating 78th Independence Day, and we have completed 77 years of independence. So let's all join the celebration of what Nehru called India's tryst with destiny. On 15th August 1947, the Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, lifted the Indian flag above the Lahore Gate in Delhi. In various ways, this became a custom on each subsequent Independence Day. The present Prime Minister hosts the country's flag and addresses the nation, along with parades, flag hoisting events, cultural performances, distribution of awards, recognition of various personnel who have contributed immensely to the nation. As the Urdu patriotic song goes, better than the entire world is our Hindustan, that is India. We are its nightingales and it is our garden adored. India celebrates its independence today on August 15th. The British Empire ruled over 200 years, which was started in India in 1757, followed by the English East India Company, gaining control over the entire country by winning the Battle of Plassey. The Indian independence movement began during the World War I, and it was led by renowned leaders like Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi staunchly advocated a non-cooperation, non-violent method of protest, after which the civil disobedience movement took place. After relentlessly long campaigns for independence, India's struggle paid off, and Britain had to leave after two world wars and began thinking of its ending its rule in India. In 1947, the British government declared the transfer of all powers to India by June 1948. But continuing tensions and violence between the Muslims and Hindus, which was created by them, led to a consensus for the partition of India into two separate states. To deal with this, the British government proposed on June 3rd, 1947, that any constitution framed by the Constituent Assembly of India will not be applicable to parts of the country that refuses to accept it. On the same day, a plan for partition was put into action by Lord Mountbatten, the then Viceroy of India. Mountbatten's plan was agreed to by the both Congress and the Muslim League as new borders were drawn and the world map changed forever. Between 3 to 5 lakh people died on both sides. On August 15, 1947, midnight, India gained independence and was concluded by the iconic speech by Jawaharlal Nehru, Tryst with Destiny. The great British rule over India came to an end with the powers transferred to the newly independent entities and nations known as Pakistan, which was divided from India. Lord Mountbatten became the first Governor General of the new Dominion of India, and Jawaharlal Nehru became the first Prime Minister of independent India. The Constituent Assembly that was set up in 1946 became the Parliament of Indian Dominion. There are various freedom fighters and various milestones that remember various events, and we'll get into the detail as and when we go, and we want the participants, the presenters, to come forward and share the information or the knowledge you have gained. And we understand it's not everyone's cup of tea. Not everyone is so fortunate. Not everyone is destined for everything. We need to understand that and we need to accept that. Though everything is at our pursuit, but we don't selectively, proactively go for it. That's the main reason, in spite of having so many opportunities around, we don't utilize it. And even if you utilize it, you are not utilizing it properly or trying to exploit or abuse or misuse the opportunities. It is more important to utilize the opportunities. If you misuse, if you exploit, if you abuse the opportunities, it will not only affect you in the long run, but it will also affect others. Others also might get deprived of such opportunities. Now, ultimately, whatever we do at the end of the day should be beneficial for not just for us, for many. And this is the day where every day should be generating more opportunities for everyone to explore, to learn, to gain, and also to share. The more we are gaining, the more opportunities we get. That means the more we need to contribute, the more we need to share. Only the capable who are able to manage will get opportunities because they know how to utilize or how to exploit, how to abuse, or how to misuse the opportunities for their greed rather than need. But it is only for short term and it has its own consequences. Even why we are discussing all this is like what Britishers has done across the world by colonizing many nations, states, which has brought under its rule various countries, states, and promoted actively slavery, and also deprived the citizens of the nation the freedom, the rights, and destroyed culture, tradition, and biodiversity, and also not just biodiversity, but the diversity which is existing in the dominance of British rule. These various colonies had to withdraw themselves over a period of time. And today we see that every day almost we see a lot of commemorations where one or other country has gained its independence. So today this is a great opportunity for everyone to learn from the history. Why we are talking or discussing about these things are to learn from the past, to learn from the history. Whenever we are exploiting, whenever we are abusing, whenever we are misusing the opportunities, the authority, or the resources, ultimately we are going to see the ruins of ourselves or our empires or our authority, our colonial system, which the Britishers couldn't recognize. And soon, sooner or later, many nations recognized, and after so much of struggle, many colonial states and nations have gained independence. If you look at the history, that's why going back and learning history of any aspect is very important. The development is very important because it gives us various mistakes and developments and also strategies, solutions, how we could overcome, how we could address, how we could tackle, and what were the mistakes and blunders we did in those days or by people in those days, and what were the consequences in those times, and still does it have any impact on the existing systems and people. So that's why, as long as we are alive, life continues to teach us. So we need to be prepared for learning all the time, because life does not stop teaching, and we should also does not stop learning. So we should continue to always be conscious of the history past, but do not dwell in the past. Gain from the past, and as per the present conditions, staying in the present conditions, at the same time, work and plan for the future, for securing the future. Unfortunately, we are trying to be, in the sense, not everyone, but some of them are trying to secure the past or securing the present. There is nothing we can do about the past. It has to be accepted, because that was happened. You cannot go redo the past. It was happened, and we cannot do anything about it. But in the present, we can do something about it in the way that it does not repeat again. And we learn from the past so that we do not make such mistakes or blunders again. And we are more cautious, and with the learning, with the knowledge gain, we are planning much better, adopting much better strategies as per the present situations. At the same time, this will help to plan for the future and also prepare for the present as well as future. That's why history is very important. You might be wondering why we need to learn about our independence struggle, why we need to learn about the sacrifices and also the freedom fighters, because they are a great inspiration for us. They are the ones who have given the freedom to us. Of course, daily it may not be practical to remember them, at least materialistically, but psychologically or emotionally, we can be attached to them in our thought process and be grateful for their sacrifices. Today, we take this opportunity to remember them, to pay our gratitude, to express our gratitude and pay tributes to them, and also to celebrate the independence, and ensure today we also have the responsibility now to protect, secure, promote this independence to our future generations, to the present and future generations. Social evils have been coming up in various forms. Earlier, when we look at the social reformers, in those days, social evils were in different forms. Present day social evils are in different forms along with the traditional or already existing forms. And with the globalization, liberalization, privatization, we have opened up ourselves to the world. And with that, we have not just opened ourselves for the trade and commerce, we have also opened up for interaction, communication, conversations, through which the impact of cultural exchange happened with various countries. And the influence of such cultural exchange had a great impact on global economy as well as nation's economy. This has challenged various cultures, languages, traditions, and also the technology, science and technologies. Because of which most of the diversity were threatened, challenged because of influence and dominance of such cultures, traditions, and languages. That continues even today. The challenges are enormous, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword. Opportunities are more. At the same time, we do have challenges. How we manage those matters a lot. Today, are we today are we prepared for such transitions, for such transformations? Is what we are required to ponder upon, to learn upon, so that we understand the implications of our decisions. So all our decisions, all our plans, all our strategies should ensure that our future is secure, independent, and enjoys the freedom, peace, harmony, along with the present generations. The future generations also needs to secure themselves. And it is our responsibility to ensure that we are ensuring ourselves and future generations the freedom, the prosperity, joy, and happiness of the independence, while ensuring their rights and also performing their duties as abiding citizen of nation nature, and environment. So today is a day to recommit ourselves, to re-establish Dharma and promote global peace, harmony, and secure, maintain the peace and the freedom for everyone, for our generations and future generations. We'll talk about this in detail, but before that, let's take few presentations. And we once again wish you all happy Independence Day. So we'll just quickly move with the commemorations, then we'll take some presentations. Those who have registered for the presentations, kindly check the screen which is being shared and share your details in the chat box so that we can invite you one by one. So today is also commemorated as World Greatness Day, which is celebrated yearly on August 15th. Professor Patrick Busing established this festival to honor all things great in life. This day draws our attention to the individuals who have had a significant impact on our lives, whether it's a parent, a friend, a family member, a mentor, a cherished pet. This is our moment to honor and thank those people. Above all, it's a day to think about your own brilliance. Buzinge believes that everyone is capable of greatness and that it is critical to build confidence and self-esteem to share the greatness with the rest of the world. Today is also commemorated as Chant at the Moon Day, where the days are long and the nights are longer. On August 15th, thousands of people around the country to chant or even howl into the heavens as part of chant at the Moon Day. This annual event was inspired by Wenatchee, Washington-based food grower Stemmelt, according to local legend. Harvesting Stemmelt's cherries around the full moon makes them sweeter. The moon's gravitational pull enhances the tree roots where cherries are grown. Stemmel decided all this sweetness deserved a celebration. So gather your friends together and let loose your best lunar cheer. By eating sweet cherries as the moon comes out and give thanks for all the wonderful fruit summer brings. And also learn about and celebrate the amazing celestial body by researching about solar system, galaxy. You will amaze yourself and more important, impress your chant at the moon's prime. In the meanwhile, we request all the presenters to share your presentation details in the chat box. Along with us, along with India, there are various countries also that were founded today that gained independence and that were freed from the clutches of the dominance of various rulers of those times. So let's look at few of them as the time permits. Today is also commemorated as founding of Asuncion in Paraguay. As this day is a public holiday in Paraguay or Paraguay, most government and business offices are closed, and this day is especially dedicated to the founding capital of Paraguay, Nuestra Senora Santa Maria de la Asunción. This city is beautiful, unique, and has a long, unique history. On this occasion, parades, festivities, and concerts are held in Paraguay. People in Paraguay are accustomed to a merry celebration of the founding of Asuncion. So Asuncion or Asuncion is the capital and the largest city of Paraguay in South America. This city stands on the east bank of Paraguay River, almost at the confluence of the river with Pilcomayo River. It is one of the oldest cities in South America and the longest permanently inhabited area in the Rio de la Plata Basin. For this reason, it is called the Mother of Cities. Since Paraguay became independent, significant changes have taken place in Asuncion during the reign of Gaspar Rodriguez de Francia. Roads were built and streets were named throughout the city. However, during the presidency of Carlos Antonio Lopez, Asuncion and Paraguay saw further progress as new president introduced new economic policies. Paraguay's independence is a direct consequence of the uprising of 1731 in 1811. And today is also foundation of celebrated and commemorated as foundation of old Panama City in Panama. This takes place on August 15th every year. So the foundation of old Panama City is also known as Panama La Bella Day by locals. As the name says, the day celebrates founding of the original Panama City. Citizens of Panama have the day off and spend it with friends and families at home or enjoy one of the many parades or festivals that boost a good time and plenty of food. Panama City was first founded on August 15, 1519 by Pedrarias de Avila. It was the first permanent European settlement on the Pacific Ocean. Its position and rapid development led to it being given the status of a city by the Crown of Spain. It served as a portal for gold stolen from the Incas that was shipped to Spain. The fledgling city was pivotal in further explorations of Peru and provided a point to launch expeditions in the country. Panama City flourished for many years The growing city was at the center of gold and silver trade and became a key point in trade between Latin America and Philippines. Nowadays, Old Panama City is a town of ruin and memories that are open for guided tours and wandering for the affordable admission. The ruins of convent and several of more stately homes are the buildings that have survived time and weathering the best. Despite Old City being uninhabitable, it still brings in a huge amount of tourism and money to Panama. Today, is also commemorated as Liechtenstein National Day in Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein National Day is commemorated on August 15th, a day when everyone gathers in Buddhist castle for returning school children. It is the first time they see their classmates after the summer vacation. The older generations, however, have made it a ritual to watch the fireworks, which takes place around 10 p.m. The National Day coincides with a stunning 30-minute firework display near Buddhist castle. In 1940, the government of the Principality of Liechtenstein declared August 15th a public holiday for the first time. This holiday is a unique that is originated during a time of conflict. Adolf Hitler had just proclaimed that the small states had no right to exist, which ignited the spark of founding this national day by the very tiniest state as an act of resistance and patriotism. The same day also commemorates Prince Franz Joseph too, who was born on August 16, 1906. However, upon his death in 1989, the celebration remained on August 15th rather than being moved to February 14th, birthday of his son and successor, Prince Hans Adam. Celebrating National Day in summer rather than in winter is more practical because celebrations would be limited by the weather. So Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and the United Kingdom also followed suit regarding these birthdays. So SNRCE tag was nominated as the official state of the holiday of Liechtenstein by law in 1990. Since then, a state ceremony has been held in Castelmedio next to Vaduz Castle to commemorate the day due to lack of military troops. Liechtenstein celebrations remain under civilian authorities. Today is also commemorated as Malaita Province Day in Solomon Islands. Also, Malaita Province Day, also known as Second Appointed Day, which is celebrated annually on August 15th to commemorate the establishment of Malaita Province in the Solomon Islands. This is a public holiday where citizens have the day off from work or school to enjoy plentiful celebrations after many centuries of colonization and brutality towards the people. Solomon Islanders show pride in their country and their culture by celebrating their independence. And this is very important holiday that has been observed since 1980. The locals celebrate by throwing parades, festivals, processions, sporting events, concerts, and speeches from politicians. The Solomon Islands is a country in Oceania made up of 6 major islands and over 900 small islands. The Solomon Islands contain 9 provinces. The capital is Honiara, are the largest and most popular province. In Malatia province, the islanders are mostly Melanesian with some Polynesians on outer islands. Most of its people live in small rural villages and tight-knit communities. Familial ties. Ties are very important for them, with most people having 200 immediate family members and being able to trace their ancestry for 10 generations. Since 30,000 BC, the Solomon Islands have been inhabited. In the Pleistocene era, they were originally occupied by Papuan communities. From 1568 through 1886, Europeans visited islands, with the first being a Spanish navigator. Attempts to create long-term settlements were thwarted by new diseases imported by Europeans, which killed a large number of people. The islands began trading with the islanders after repeated visits from the United States, Britain, and Australia in the 18th century. The islanders' interaction with foreign tourists were frequently violent. Europeans began kidnapped islanders in the 19th century to work as workers in Australia, Fiji, and Samoa. The majority of the islanders were slaves, with some earning pitiful salaries. They were colonized by the British in 1893. The islanders began an emancipation movement from 1944 to 1952, known as Masina Rule. The British arrested and charged the leaders for the movement, but islanders fought back by refusing to pay taxes and barricading their villages against the British. Their needs were met in 1951 and they gained independence in 1978. The country changed its name from British Solomon Islands to the Solomon Islands. Today is also commemorated as National Acadian Day, National Acadian Day in Canada. Certain Canadian regions commemorate National Acadian Day on August 15 to honor the Acadian people and culture. The Acadian leaders were given to mandate to designate the day of this celebration. which is also a feast of the Assumption of Mary during the First National Convention of the Acadians in Memramcook, New Brunswick in 1881. The Acadians, who originated in France, were the first Europeans to permanently settle in Canada. Today is also commemorated as National Liberation Day of Korea in South Korea, which is also celebrated and commemorated on August 15 annually and is also known as One Book Joy, which translates to bringing back the lights. This name represents the end of the darkness of Japanese rule over South Korea. Gwangbok Gyeol is one of the few national holiday and celebration that is shared with North Korea, which also observes its Liberation Day on August 15. The day when Korea finally threw off its Japanese rulers is known as National Liberation Day of Korea or Korean Independence. In 1945, Korea was finally liberated from its occupation by Japan, and exactly 3 years later, on August 15, 1948, the Republic of Korea was officially established. Today, we will also look at various other aspects and developments. But before that, we request the presenters who have registered for their presentation to share their details in the chat box so that we can invite you for the presentation. So today, this entire week is also celebrated as 5th National Social Work Week 2024 from August 15th to August 21st, 2024 with the theme School Social Work, Opportunities and Challenges. All the social work educational institutions are requested to join hands with NAPSWI and observe National Social Work Week in their esteemed universities, institutions, by organizing a series of activities, virtually or physical, or in a blended mode, whichever is possible, such as seminars, workshops, master classes, panel discussions, capacity building, and skill development workshops, etc., or activities of your choice celebrating. And NAPSWI also gave a call that it will be happy to collaborate and support social work educational institutions in organizing these activities. So when we look at the details, background of this celebration of this day, NAPSWI, which is National Association of Professional Social Workers in India, which has initiated a week-long celebration as the National Social Work Week to fulfill the long pending demand of National Social Work Day on the lines of Social Work Day. After discussion, it was decided to celebrate a National Social Work Week NSWW from 15th to 21st August every year. The idea of celebrating NSWW is centered around to highlight the developments and achievements social work profession in India, to take pride belonging to this noble profession, to rededicate ourselves for the societal cause, and to look at the bright side as well as the dark side of the profession, with intention of co-creating opportunities of mutual learning and empowering each other. During the Social Work Week, NAPSWI will jointly make an attempt to bring all the professional social workers on one platform so that a collective identity of profession can be emerged in the most efficient manner on one hand, and also mutual learning can take place on another. So this 1 week long celebration begins on 15th August and culminates as Indian Social Work Day on 21st August every year. Since it was initiated during pandemic situation in 2020, the first celebration came through virtual mode. It has been a great success as many social work educational institutions, social work professionals, educators, researchers, practitioners, students, and even common people from different walks of life have joined hands across the country to undertake, organize, and facilitate academic and professional interaction through various activities. It coincides with the establishment of first school of social work in independent India with blessings of Mahatma Gandhi. So when we look at the celebrations, the Department of Social Work Kashi Vidyapit coordinated the first NSWW program in 2020 in collaboration with National Association of Professional Social Workers in India, NAPSWI, and Indian Society of Professional Social Work, ISPSW, and organized a series of art activities. In 2021, NAPSWI itself had shouldered responsibility to organize a series of activities during second NSWW program in 2022. So in 2022, NAPSWI has expanded it and supported SWEs across the country to observe and celebrate third NSWW program by organizing a series of activities virtually or physically or in blended mode, whichever was possible. So last year, fourth NSWW program was observed throughout the country on the issue of green social work, which was the focus. Professor Atul Pratap Singh of Delhi University, along with the team of NAPSWI, was successfully coordinated second to fourth NSSW. Like past years, this year, fifth NSSW will be celebrated from August 15 to 21st, 2023, and the last day of NSSW, August 21st, 2024, shall be celebrated as Indian Social Work. Actually, NAPSWI believes in shaking hands with all the social work educational institutions so that it can promote and protect the interests of social work professions in India and represent social work professionals and profession at national and international level. Hence, in order to cooperate and collaborate in a partnership mode, social work education institutions, SVEIs, are invited to join hands with us in this week national level event. So, the objectives of National Social Work Week is celebration of National Social Work Week program to promote social work education and social work professional and profession, popularize the values, mission, and goals of social work profession, and reaffirm the commitments for personal and social well-being of every citizen of our country. The specific objectives of the National Social Work Program are to inculcate work values and social responsibility among the social work educators, students, practitioners across the country, to evoke participation and engagement of all stakeholders throughout the country by organizing series of activities, to highlight the needed and significant of social work profession in India, and to look at the bright side as well as the dark side of the profession with intention of co-creating opportunities of mutual learning and empowering each others, and to cooperate and collaborate with SVEIs and support them in various activities in partnership mode. So the proposed theme for 5th National School Social Work, as per the concept theme, which is the school social work and opportunities and challenges, which has emerged due to the place to school social work and school complex is new educational policy 2020. This year, NAPSWI has decided to focus on school social work. Besides this, some of the themes that can be taken up are social work and contemporary social realities, national education policy and social work, school social work values and ethics, school social work activities for teachers, students, and parents, as well as for schools or any other theme relevant for social work profession. School social work opportunities and challenges. NAPSWI, National Association of Professional Social Workers in India, has initiated a campaign to establish social school complex and appointment of school social workers in schools in 2019-20. In India, professional social workers have been employed in various government, private, and non-government organizations, NGOs, since past many decades. For the 8 decades, NAPSWI has been working on diverse issues related to different groups of populations with the objectives of promoting the well-being of human beings. So social work as a subject is being taught at graduate and postgraduate level throughout the country in 526 colleges, universities, and produces a large trained social work service workforce. For many fields, social work is an academic discipline and human service profession that concerns itself with individuals, families, groups, and communities in an effort to enhance social functioning and overall well-being. A school social worker provides psychosocial services and supports counseling to children and adolescents in schools at both micro and macro levels. School social workers are addressing students' issues, concerns, and problems on one hand, and along with the peers, teachers, school, and community, especially with parents. Individuals, families, groups, in an effort to enhance social functioning and overall well-being. So, a school social worker provides psychosocial services and support, counseling to children and adolescents in schools at both micro and macro levels. School social workers are addressing students' issues, concerns, and problems on one hand, and they, along with the peers, teachers, school, and community, especially with parents, on another. So, in brief, I am presenting the concept note of this week. So, as you know, as a member of NAPSWI, I take this privilege to promote the social work week and also initiate on this day. And in coming days, we will also look at various aspects of social work and how we can take it forward along with these Independence Day celebrations. So we request the presenters who have registered and who are willing to make presentation or share their observations, experiences, or talks to share their details in the chat box so that we can invite you for the presentations. So we'll break now for here for presentations and then we'll take up in detail after the presentations or tomorrow as the time permits. So we have presentation by Pradeep on prevention of canine and feline bites, its care and mitigation. So we welcome you, Pradeep, and we wish you happy Independence Day. You can unmute yourself. Pradeep is actively working on animal welfare, animal cruelty, and animal loss protection, and also in rehabilitation. And is very dedicated in providing services, especially contributing to the animal welfare and sustainable development. In the meanwhile, others also can share your details. We'll be inviting you one after the other. Kindly utilize this opportunity Yeah, Pradeep, we can see you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Uh, Thank you, Ravindra sir, for such a wonderful introduction. And it was a great insight that every time you provide such a wonderful platform and inspire and motivate others. So, a very good evening, one and all. So, first of all, I would like to uh, thank Ravindra sir and also the participants. Today is one of the auspicious day of on India, which is a Independence Day. But in spite of your busy schedule and you came up for the session, so I really appreciate you and also congratulate for your commitment and dedication because this shows a lot of commitment. So that you are willing to attend the session and to also you are willing to gain some knowledge to look go for ahead. So let me share my screen without getting delayed. Sir, is my screen is visible, sir?
Yes, ma Pradeep. You can make it full screen.
Yes, sir. One minute. Now, sir, it is visible, sir.
It's still in the slide mode.
Uh, I have meditated
Okay,
completely screen.
okay. I think you can close that document recovery window so that it can be made much bigger.
Okay, sir. Just
You can continue as it is, no problem. If you are unable to make it full screen.
a second. I'll try it. Sir, it is visible. Okay. So, before going to the topic, today's uh, Independence Day, so we all are like experiencing the fruits of freedom because of the sacrifices made by the various freedom fighters. But still, there are many of the things in India were especially more common and more vulnerable for both the animals and also for the humans. So this is actually every and also every day if we take in Hyderabad, we receive around 200 dog bites. So sadly, it's because of most of them are provoked dog bites. Mostly they are from they are being like provoked by humans. So that's the reason we actually get dog bites. And so coming to the topic, today I'm going to talk about prevention of canine and feline bites and its care and mitigation. So how many of you in the participants like animals? Like whether it's a cat or a dog? Because since the topic is related to companion animals, so anyone in the participants, you can raise your hand, you can type in the chat box. Uh, Either of the way you can do it. Okay, fine. So
Yeah, Pradeep, please
companion,
continue.
yes, sir. So companion animals like as we say that like dogs and cats and also some dog. So our basically emphasis will be on dogs and cats. So they have been raised for many years. And I mean to say, across from the human evolution, we have been animals are part of it, and like dogs, descendants of owls. So some of the owls are like been interested in for the companion of the humans, and that's the evolution of the dog has begun. And similarly, cats, they have been also been raised by many of the kings, and some of them have worshipped cats also. So someone like some way or the other, they also become the true companionship. And nowadays, people are interested to raise uh, cats as well, and also dogs. Many of them, they are fond of the dogs because they are human companionship. So if we can see that the number of street dog population across India, we can see that how many street dogs are there for 1,000 people. And this is for the survey which has been conducted in 2019 by India dot in pixels. So which had reveals that around 11 dogs are there for 1,000 people. And the number also keeps on growing. Do you know the reason the number of stray dogs have been increased? The problem is urbanization. We are, as our urbanization has been sprawling down, like increasing on, and so the natural resources has been diminishing day by day. And these stray dogs, they are actually uh, the scavengers, and also most of them they actually depend on natural resources. So when there is lack of food and water, so they come into the close to the human habitat, and mostly uh, they feed on the waste. At the same time, the other reason for the increase of the stray dog population is the decline of the vulture population. Earlier, till I think so 90s, we used to have in India, mostly we have the vulture population. But after that, uh, since the vultures and dogs are scavengers, so with the cattle, especially they have this drug which is called as diclofenac, which has been used exclusively. So on consuming this cattle carcass, so most of the vultures started to decline rapidly. So today the vulture population has been becoming extinct, but also although the government is taking necessary measures to revive it, but still the raw vulture population has been decreased. As the vultures have been decreased, the species has been occupied by the dogs, because as they are scavengers, so they started to occupy their territory, and this has increased the stray dog population entire the various parts of Indian continent, even in Asia also. So ultimately, it affects both the animal health and also the human health also. Let's see what actually so as the population keeps on growing, you might also have a doubt like, what is the uh, preventive measure to control the stray dog population? As the population has been increasing, and there might be a chance of getting infectious diseases like rabies, so which is zoonotic disease again, which spreads from animals to humans. So, what are the like preventive steps? You might have that got this doubt also. So the one of the uh, preventive measure for controlling the stray dog population is animal birth control and anti-rabies vaccination. So it has been introduced by the government of India in the year 2001. The first was implemented in the Chennai Municipal Corporation. Initially, where there was a lot of culling of dogs were there, but systematically it is not a it is not a preventive measure to decrease the dog bites, not to decrease the rabies deaths. So the WHO, World Health Organization, and also several other consortiums, they come forward to, they, uh, to design a scientific measure which can prevent the state of population, that is called animal birth control. At the same time, during the process of animal birth control, we can see that like the dog right ear will be cut. It will have a V-shaped cut. So that means if you notice any dog which right ear has a V-shaped cut, that means it's been sterilized and it is vaccinated against rabies. So mostly we talk about like these are the how we can prevent the dog population. As the city goes on increasing, the population goes on increasing. We have discussed for the prevention matters. But taking to the forward, how can we prevent bites, whether it's a dog or a cat? So if you see in case of a dog, if you have a infant, let's say for example a toddler which is around 2 years or 3 years, it is always and always necessary to supervise an infant while he is playing on the street or anything else, because an infant doesn't have that knowledge to like how to behave with a dog. So it's the parent responsibility to safeguard the children, ensure cross children have a very strong bonding. Children, what happens is the child put the child put the so the dog also get agitated. It's something like if you can pull an ear of some other individuals, they get pain, right? They have the animal also. So they will get pain. And it will day, either it will bite an individual.
There is some connectivity issue. Let's present us and let's wait for a minute.
lost the connection. Let me share the screen here. Right. So here the first and foremost thing is actually for parents.
Your
Yes,
PPT
sir.
is not visible.
1 minute, sir. There is a internet connection, sir.
That's okay.
Uh, there is some problem here in the internet, sir. So, trying to sort it.
So, okay, no problem. You can continue as and when your connectivity resumes, you can start sharing.
1 minute, sir. Now you can able to see, sir.
It's loading. It's still.
Yeah, 1 minute, sir.
Now it's visible.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
You are on the first slide, the title slide.
Okay. Now, sir.
Decline of vulture population.
Yes. So, as we have discussed about it, culture population, so which has resulted is in the trade of population, because till 90s and all we used to have vultures. So as they feed on the dead animals, carcass and all. But as per the cattle, there is an exclusive use of a drug which is called diclofenac, so which had resulted in the death of vulture population, and this has also rapidly affected the vulture population. So as the vulture population steadily decreases, these species has been occupied by the some other. So which dogs has been occupied. Since the dogs are also scavengers, so they used to feed on dead animals too. These has undoubtedly increased the canine population. So which has affected, which also gives rise to various infections, because as the ongoing population of this can strays and all, there will be lack of vaccination measures and all. So it has affected both the animal health and also human health as well. So what actually as the population has been increased, and there are also a lot of culling has been happening till before the prior introduction of animal birth control and anti-rabies vaccination. So in the year of 2001, the animal birth control and anti-rabies vaccination has been introduced by the Indian government, and Chennai is the first municipal corporation that is in Tamil Nadu state, so, which is led by Chinni Krishnan. So, sir, so we has been introduced this scientific method, and also WHO, which has also and some other international organizations collaborated, and they have realized the importance of animal birth control as one of the scientific way, and also to reduce the stray population, and also to prevent the uh, rabies. So once the animal has been sterilized, we can see that there is doctor holding a dog. So illustration. So here what will happen is, here the right ear will be marked with V shape. So that in itself tells that the dog is sterilized and it is vaccinated against rabies, and it is healthy. And at the same time, they will also give that, they will let the public also know that this dog is sterilized and we don't have to worry about it. So now we have seen that population has been controlled. Moving further ahead, how can the animal bites can be reduced? whether it's cats or dogs. Lot of the times we have reported in GHNC Municipal Corporation or in India or in Asian countries, especially Africa and also India. So certain part of the regions, we actually got dog bites more. So here are the few tips what we can do to prevent the dog bites. The first and foremost thing is you need to observe, understand the animal behavior, like what actually the dog is trying to say. And most of the times, the dog bites are caused due to either by children. I mean, because the children are very curious and they're not aware of it, so they will go and pull the tail and pull the ears. So it's a parent responsibility and also supervision to look over their children, because they are not that much grown up and they don't know how to interact with a dog. So out of the curiosity and also the bonding with the dog, they will go and do it. So what it happens is, if you go and like pull an ear of someone else, or if you pinch it, so we get pain, right? Similarly, the animals also are sentient beings. They also have this pain receptors, so they will also feel the pain. In that process, they may try to bite it. So it's always and always a precautionary measure for parents or who are the guardians to ensure that children are safe with the dog. And never and ever touch an unknown dog, because some dog which are unfamiliar, there tends to be very shy. They exhibit their behavior, like when it is shy and all, they will go to some other place and hide out. So in that circumstances and all, it's advisable not to touch the dog. And if it's in case if it's a pet dog, with the owner permission, it's better and ideal with the owner permission. It's okay if it's a friendly or not, and examining the behavioral traits, then it's okay to touch the dog. But never and ever touch an unfamiliar dog without, even it's a pet dog also. So always advisable to ask the owner permission and touch it, especially with children. And do not disturb any dog when it is caring for puppies. It actually happens with children too. Mostly children, what it happens is when they see the puppies, the cute little puppies, with out of the curiosity and also the fondness, they try to separate the puppies from the mother. So mother dog, it's a mother. So what it happens, it's a protective. So it marks a protective area that these are my children and I am guarding them. So the female dog thinks in that way. So it may try to bite the children or it may attack it. So in such situations, it will be traumatized. When the children are being separated, the mother get traumatized. In such certain situations, it is always advisable not to separate puppies from the mother when it is especially nursing them, or and also when the dog is eating or sleeping, don't touch them, because they have some certain the receptors in the body where they tend to, even the slightest sound also they may get alert. So they don't know like whether you are trying to pamper the dog or anything. They will immediately it's something like a flight and flight response, and how we have it. So similarly, the dogs will also have that. So in that process, it will try to bite you. Do not run pass from a dog. If you are passing by a dog out of fear and all, don't run. What it happens to the dogs is they have their very bright sense of eyes, and also they can't see the object especially. So when they think that there is something, a cat or a rat is moving around, they will immediately chase it. So in the process of chasing, sometimes what it happens is when the dog is having a aggressive behavior, so you may get bites too. So certain cases, especially children, mostly it happens with the children under the age of 15 years. So it is always and always advisable to parents to supervise them, even if you are in there in academic settings and all. So maybe a teacher can also guide them to be safe around with animal. Teach children to move slowly around dogs. As I said, it's always advisable to gently go around with the dogs, but in a not in a like how we go in a running race. Please don't do with the dogs. Do not encourage aggressive or rough play with any dog, especially children. What they actually do is they try to pinch the dog. They try to pull, like when they are playing with the dog and all during soft toys and all, they try to pull it up. So at that time, don't try to be aggressive or play a rough play. Sometimes even the dog cannot understand it, certain things. So it may get aggravated or it may get panic, it may get traumatized. So certain times where flight or flight will response will be there. So in that process, it may try to bite you. And as I said that always ask permission from a dog owner when you are petting a dog. Always ask the pet owner, is it okay? Your dog is friendly. Is it okay? Can I pet it? It's nothing wrong. It's a gentle cut. It is a courteous response. You're asking with the owner with their permission. So, allow the dog to sniff you, so that dogs actually sense the smell of any individual. Based on the sense of the smell, they feel that okay, this individual is not a harm to me. Okay, then at that time it will only allow you to touch it, unless until it allows you. Please don't touch it, especially with the pet dogs. Highly encourage you, discuss with the owner, ask the permission, and then do it. Otherwise, please don't do it. Never and ever approach a unfamiliar dog. Please don't approach an unfamiliar dog, because we never know what it actually is. So, and at the same time, if any unfamiliar dogs approaches you, please stand like a tree, like a rock, or also if it is fine, if you stand like a tree, uh, as firmly like that, so that it will smell and it will go away. And second thing is, keep your dog healthy. Adopting a dog is not only enough. Providing the basic necessities also matters a lot in terms of food and nutrition, and providing a better health is vital. That means you can getting a yearly vaccination, and also proper deworming is to be done. And also one and foremost thing is socialization. So socialization is very much essential, because something like a 2-year child is there. If you are not allowing him to communicate with others when he goes to academic settings, how he will behave? The similar way, if you don't socialize your dog when you brought it at a very younger age, like around 3 months or 4 months, what it happens is it will it will not know how to interact with the humans, and that's the way it will shy away, or it may get traumatized. Sometimes it will aggravate, and sometimes it will try to bite. So it is always and always essential to socialize with uh, socialize your dog. Maybe you can approach a canine behaviorist, a trainer, so where they can be very expertise and identifying the behavioral problem of your dog, and provides you adequate training methods. And here are the ways how we should not ever be with dogs, especially for children. If you can see the other side, if you had mentioned that avoid taking people's food, like how we avoid taking people's food, similarly avoid bothering dogs when they are eating. Avoid stealing other people toys. The way how we like during our childhood, we tend to take toys from mothers, right? But please don't do with the dogs. They will be very protective with their objects or food items and puppies also. So in that process, they may bite you. Avoid putting your face right up to the someone else's face. Something like if you are staring about someone, if you are in, if for example, if you are staring at someone, what it feels very awkwardness, right? So similarly, if you are putting a dog face straightly towards it, it will get frightened first. It will not understand what you are trying to say. It will not understand what you are trying to communicate. So in that process, it may get also sometimes it will get aggressive also. So it may bite you. Example, if you are sleeping on for example, if you are sleeping on bed, suddenly someone comes and bothers you during the sleep. So you get irritated, right? So similarly, don't disturb a dog when it is sleeping. Please don't disturb it. So it will, what it happens, it will get irritated, annoyed, and sometimes it will bites. Avoid pestering, like pulling this, pulling the tail. Please don't do it. Avoid climbing or trampling. Please don't do like climbing the dogs or trampling. Especially this is for children. Avoid pinching. Don't pinch the like how we pinch your friends and all. It is not applicable for a dog because a dog is not a human being. But however, it is a sentient being which is understands the emotions but cannot process the human emotions like how we do with other human beings. They are canines. A dog is always a dog. So it is always there are certain behavioral methods and are also there are certain uh, things which we have to be taken care when you are interacting with any animal. Avoid screaming around. If you scream around with someone, they'll get irritated, right? Why they are screaming? In a similar way, same thing. Avoid screaming on your pet dogs because it will affect their behavioral, how we get the self-esteem and all. Same thing applicable for the dogs. So they have their internal like they'll get sometimes agitated. They don't behave. Sometimes they destroy the toys and everything. The destructive behavior will be developed when you have this commanding behavior or when you are shouting at the dog. Sometimes what it happens is once in a while it is okay, but not every time. In order to correct it, it's completely fine. But if you go on doing this, definitely what it happens is it will definitely develop a destructive behavior, and ultimately it cannot hear your words. It will definitely it will sometimes it will bite the owners also. So it is always essential to socialize the dogs, and if you are having kids, it is always essential to not to disturb the dog while it is eating, sleeping, and also don't pull the ears, don't pull the tail, and also a dog is not a toy. So don't jump it, don't climb it, no trampling. And when even if there is an unfamiliar dog is approaching you, please stand like a tree. It will move away. Vaccination always save lives, whether it's for animal and humans. So it is essential for even if it's a dog or a cat, feline, it is always essential to perform all the necessary vaccination as suggested by the veterinarian. So it is not only good for the animal health, it is good for your health too. And finally, if you are bitten by a dog or thing, the first and foremost thing is please wash the wound with soap and water for 15 to 20 minutes. After that, get the TD injection, tetanus injection, to the nearest healthcare facility, whether it's a private or government. Please go ahead and please do it. After that, the doctor will examine your wound the bite area and will perform the anti-rabies like the what we call it as ARV. Anti-rabies, how vaccination will be given, rabies vaccine will be given. Something like for humans we call as RAG, rabies immunoglobulin vaccine, which is that is depending upon the wound, they will give it. But it is essential if we can take it, it is good. And there will be 4 shots of vaccine. What is 0th day, 3rd day, 17th, 7th day, and 14th and 28th. You should not skip the vaccine schedule. If you skip one vaccine also, you have to repeat the whole process again. Oh, now I have got a dog bite. Now I got the RAG vaccine. Now no need. The schedule is not needed. If you skip it means it is very dangerous to your health also. Sometimes it will be fatal also. Even death will also happen. The proper immunization should be done. So, and the good thing is the vaccination is available with free of cost in the government hospitals. You can avail this facility. And as I said, prevention is better than cure. Please see that you behave well with animal so that you cannot get bitten by the animal. And at the same time, if you are a pet owner, if you are a community caretaker, if you are feeding the dogs, make sure that they are sterilized, vaccinated against rabies, and all the proper vaccinations have been done. Maybe you can approach the municipal corporation. Nowadays in Hyderabad, they are running uh, the campaign for sterilization of the dogs, and they do also have the feeder registration form. If you are a feeder or someone who cares for the animals, you can register through an online Google registration form where you can provide all the details, and where the municipal corporation will come to your area. When if we can help them in spotting the where are the dog, like which are the dogs that are unsterilized, they will sterilize it and they can vaccinate against rabies. And that's all. Thank for time and patience. Thank you, Ravindra sir, for giving this opportunity. Now, if
Thank
you
you,
have any
Pradeep,
questions,
for your wonderful, insightful presentation. You have in detail spoke about, the mitigation, especially animals which are quite common, like dogs and cats in our neighborhood. And we see a lot of casualties now also, especially in raining season, which is a
yes,
breeding season for them. And recently, many cases, has been reported in various cities, especially when we take about GHMC itself. There were recent incidents where dog bites have been reported, and because of casualties, even children are also
yes,
meeting with accidents. And recently, one child also lost his life. And
yes, sir.
various such incidences are happening, and especially the conflict, is more when compared to cats and dogs, because those are most widely prevalent,
Yes,
occurring in our societies, and they are mostly
uh,
kept as a pet as well as stray animals.
yes, sir.
So that's why these mitigation efforts are very much required, as you rightly
Yes, sir.
pointed out, and treatment also. In fact,
Yes,
to as an addition to the efforts put by various, organizations, authorities. In fact, we are also planning to come up with an exclusive awareness programs, you know,
yes, sir.
as I discussed with you earlier. So we
Yes,
will
sir.
have
Definitely.
some exclusive webinars where we
Definitely.
will invite people and we'll discuss in detail and about
Definitely,
first
sir.
aid and all. So I think on this occasion, because we want transdisciplinary approach.
Yes, sir.
We are
Uh,
allocating time for everyone. So,
yes.
yeah, good.
So, sir, I would like to add one point. It should be an intersectoral approach. It's not animal welfare organization or one specific department or one NGOs or anything. It should be a collaborative thing, like it's educational department and health department. So, grass level root outreach should be happened where, as we discussed, the school level outreach programs has to be there, public level campaigns has to be there, so the public will also get to know how to be safe around with animals and also the need for vaccination, as I discussed and mentioned. So that should be known to the people. And also the grievance mechanism system. Now the GHMC also introduced the grievance mechanism system for reporting any unsterilized dogs and also any aggressive dog or anything. So that sort of things has to be taken, sir.
Yes, Mark. No, we need awareness, which is very much required, along with efforts that are being put. It's not that we don't know, but we are not very consciously acting on it. As you rightly pointed out, vaccination is also very much required when such casualties occur. And,
Yes, sir.
approachability, accessibility, affordability is also another factor.
Yes,
And,
sir.
constant awareness, because often in the age of information that is flooded, we sometimes either overlook certain instructions or information as we are overloaded, overburdened many times. So these efforts should continue, and especially in this rainy season, which is a vulnerable period. So let's all together try to address these issues even in coming days. So I think there are no specific queries as such. But there are few appreciation messages. If anyone has any queries, feel free to raise your hand or use chat box so that we can quickly take any feedback, observation, queries, or suggestions on this topic. Okay, if there are none, then I hope this presentation was very clear. And thank you, Pradeep, once again for joining us on this occasion. And we wish you all the success for your future endeavors. Then we will move on to our next presenter, Dr. Chandrakala Diyali. She is a senior assistant professor in Amity University for Social Work Department. We welcome you, ma'am, for your session. You can unmute yourself, start your video and presentation. Hope I am audible to everyone. Chandrakala Diyali, ma'am, can you hear me? Dr. Chandrakala Diyali ma'am, can you respond?
नहीं आई कट कर दो हाँ नो
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Clearly?
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. We can see you. Happy Independence Day to you and your family.
Happy 78th Independence to you, sir, as an organizer, host, and the whole so capable team of yours. And today, when I'm, speaking on the occasion of 78th Indian Independence Day 2024 and 5th National Social Work Week, that is prevailing from 15th to 21st August, which is being organized by NAPSWI, and is to do with awareness, campaign, and so many good things, So here I have been given this opportunity by you, sir. Just a second. I will shift this and make it a little smaller. Okay, I'll minimize it. Should I share the PPT?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Actually, I'm a little scared because my connectivity is a little doubtful. So if I can do it without sharing the PPT, sir?
Yeah, that's also fine. No issue.
That's also fine. Okay. To begin with, I don't know who all are the audiences. I have presented the topic before as well. And today I feel so privileged to really touch upon, revisit the topic about values, core values, and code of ethics. And when it comes to core values and code of ethics, values is, I'll uncover if there are student participants, I would like to uncover this terms. Values is basically, students, it's belief and principle that we believe that it is very important for our life and living, and even in our workplaces, because these life and living with the family, with yourself, first of all, you are an individual, right? So being self-aware, knowing yourself, but in relation to your surrounding value, and environment, in tandem with environment, that is very, very important. So values is that, right? And how value affects each individual is, it would determine your priorities in life, as per your value system. It prioritize your choices in your life. Just now, before I began, I just happened to see one post, and from there I could retrieve some example. For example, a woman in her birthplace, that's our system, right? We are in a social system where the girl child has to leave her parental house and then join her spouse house. So there it was written, that post writes that, it is very important to think about your parental house and take care of it, but your priority has to be the one you are going to create, because it is your home, and base of foundation is you. So hence we are supposed to prioritize, as in line with value system for a girl, is to take care of her, the to be family after her marriage, where the family where she is going to join. So our priority has to be our focus, priority, and value system. She has to imbibe, she has to inculcate the value system that prevails in that family. And if it is not as per the universal value, then she may slowly make some good positive changes, and then herself she has to adjust a little and let the people who she's joined by has to understand her priorities, because if they are having good positive value in their household, then they would be able to understand the girl who's entered the new house, the new family, and the new social milieu. So they have to again adjust, right? So that is how you prioritize the values, right? It's an example. And ethics is what? It's a moral principle that governs a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. That means it's a morality, moral principle, moral code of ethics. So it is basically a moral principle. We face in our day-to-day life, we face with a lot of moral issues. And moral issues are what? Whether there are always, when it comes to taking decision, we are faced with two dilemmatic situation, whether either this or that, and always, most of the time, when we are choosing two direction, one direction is value based, the other one is little lesser or valueless, something to do with where you don't imbibe values, right? Where you don't have positive outcome. So hence we have to be a good judge. We have to be morally good ourselves to choose the right path. So hence I must have clarified now, students, what are values and ethics. So I'll begin now with my presentation that I made, and I have added new information also than what I presented last time. See, code of ethics, every profession has to have model code of ethics, doctors, lawyers, engineers, every profession needs to have, right? Even our family, as an institution, we need to have good value system. And earlier days, traditionally, the children had no other source of information for their life and living than their family, especially the mother was the first source of learning for them. That she was the first institution for them. Then comes the father, and love, compassion, something that is intangible. She or he would learn, selfless care, and self-sacrificing attitude, positivity, endurance. The child used to learn from mother. She used to be the first teacher for the child, right? So now then comes the whole family, siblings, father, then grandparents and all. Everybody has to have the common values. Otherwise, if there are diversity, if there are dichotomy, if there are contention, then there'll be a lot of conflict, the child will be facing, and the child will be developing into a conflicting personality, so they would not be able to, because one line of direction, one common teaching, practices, value system, ethics, if everyone is speaking the same common language, then it would be easier for the child to inculcate that without any doubt, right? And for the professional also, like as social work fraternity, we have common set of core values, right? First is service. Second is social justice. I'm going a little slower on this so that you'd be able to write it down if at all students are there as a joinee. Service, social justice, dignity and worth of the person, importance of human relationships, integrity and competence. So students, service is what? Service has to be, as a professional social worker. See, profession, when you are adding social worker, would do it selflessly. Social worker would do it without any condition, without any price, without any cost, right? But when it comes to professional social worker, that means that is source of means for the professional. So, but in earning the means of for your livelihood, you are not supposed to be greedy. You're not supposed to be greedy. You are supposed to be, you are a needy person who needs sustenance for life. And when somebody is coming to take help, services, you have to ensure that you treat the person as per his caliber of resources, whether he or she would be able to give you the set amount, which you have prescribed for the service that you are going to deliver. Financial or tangible services. So in that case, but if you get to see a person who is in dire need, but he or she doesn't have resource, then you can be more giving, selfless in making your fees more nominal. Like for example, students during the COVID time, they approached us, and all these counselors and all, since I teach counseling and I have conducted, I was a radio counselor for this thing, so I used to give resources, I used to tell them as how to kind of endure the how to be resilient, how to kind of have patience, and how to be more positive, be outlook, and actually how to set the time to help them. They're better. So a little bit of motherly, we do. So that is how you have to let your service to expand to the maximum people, to the mass. That's for the reason you develop credibility, where you are in a situation where you are pressed, you yourself is, see, during COVID, there were a lot of, slash of uh, salaries, and development sector, there are a lot of loss of jobs and all. During that time also, people, they lost a job, but they were still in as a front runner to give services as a I know of ISKCON temple, they had given in Dwarka, where I stay. They had given services they had provided food for even the house owners and all. They did not think, irrespective of the class, caste, occupation, they did not respect all that, but they wanted people to avail the food, because most of the houses had ailing mothers, and mothers could not do everything, so they sensed that and they expanded. I was one of the service takers when we had to be there in the university for uh, you know for doing our job, our invigilation duty and all. That time, hidingly, two students, they befooled us, and they sneak into saying that they don't have, they are COVID free, but in fact they were COVID patient, and we happened to touch them, we happened to touch through papers and all. So we suffered, all the faculties who were working day and night suffered a lot. So now we couldn't afford to blame them and all, but continue doing the services, what was meant for us. So that is how we have to develop a positive attitude. And it did not, the suffering did not last for long, because we were positive. We were very positive in our attitude. We consciously, myself as a mother or professional, I was very conscious of the fact that my children are happy, they are doing their classes, they are doing their dance, they are doing listening to music and all, they are doing their prayers, bhajan. So that's how we've got to be serviceful in a tight situation also. Second is social justice. What is social justice? Social justice is like, as how Mahatma Gandhi has shown us the path, Sarvodaya and Antyodaya. Sarvodaya is well-being of all, and Antyodaya is what? It's like, let the last person, the last figure be included, so that nobody is left, not even incapable would be left. We have a diversity in our population, right? We have diversity in terms of disability. There are in terms of gender, in terms of capacity, in terms of our IQs, in terms of our background we come from, class, caste, there have been certain ways how the different caste, a set of caste had been handled historically, and how it took a little longer time for them to develop what we are becoming, trying to transform themselves. We have to have protective discrimination for them. And social is one of the ways. The other one is social justice, like everybody should be treated equally with equity, that's protective discrimination, and everybody should be given justice, fairness in treatment. And if there is some inequality in the group, then how do we bring the equality among the diverse group? By ensuring that equity is practiced, right? So that's how we've got to ensure dignity and worth of a person is third core values. Dignity and worth of the person is every individual, irrespective of social, cultural, any background, past, creed, these are socially constructed. Actually, naturally, the divine has not created anyone differently. Profession they have, except they have started adhering to the practices, and all they made that adhere them to different profession, and then they happen to follow different custom value system and all that made that those are all social stuff. Otherwise, the divine has created us, same, right? Same resources, and resources is our senses, right? So, in our speech, eyes, vision, so everything is gifted equally. It's just socially how we have accepted, or how impression we have started, continuing activities that we have done. So based on that, differences have been cropped up. Otherwise, so hence it is traffic, right? But every individual in the among social fraternity, we have as a social professional social worker, we have to treat everyone equally. If there are 2, 5, 7 clients you are dealing with, ensure that you have to ensure that everyone is treated equally and everyone is given that due respect. Okay, so it is what is and what a person. For example, a student comes to you, or a minister's daughter comes to you, right? On commoner with the main same mental health issues, just non-clinical nature. Because clinical psychiatrists and psychologists don't handle that non-clinical, right? So we handle non-clinical as psychology, as a counselor. So if both of them come and you know so you should not be prioritizing this daughter, just because she belongs to my class, and you don't see some of the service that they has come for service approach. You prioritize both the patients, both of their challenges, and you have to give them fair chance to come up with their own opinions, come up with their own self-determination. That is very important. So that's how the every individual should feel that they have some dignity in them and they're worthy to be treated equally and as an individual, right? Because sometimes what happens is a poor person might not be so well behaved, but you have to understand, oh, he comes from a background where the parents have not prioritized that because they were fending for their day-to-day, sustenance and all that. So they did not prioritize the inculcation of values in that, poor individual, poor child. So we have to understand that's for the reason, instead of the adult courts and all, JJ Act has been created where care and protection of them, we call it so, hello.
Yes, ma'am. Your voice is breaking, but we are able to understand.
Okay. So,
Yeah, now it's fine.
it's fine, na? So, okay, I will just a second, sir. Then next is importance of human relationship. When it comes to human relationship, the social workers has to be very conscious, no matter what position you have in your career, your position in your societal milieu, you are a big professor, you are a big scientist, you are, a big politician, you are a big philosopher, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. When you enter the house, you are a husband to somebody, you are a wife to your spouse, and you are a mother to your children. You don't seek for the kind of prestige and all, but yes, we have to respect each other existence in the family situation. And in the professional milieu, we have to understand that if there are juniors, we've got to respect them. We've got to give them fair chance to go through the process of learning, and we have to enable them. We have to facilitate them, right? So that is where, and there in your profession, whenever there are, for example, in my profession, as a professor, there are students we deal with, so we are not supposed to indulge in favoritism. We are not supposed to indulge in, oh, if this person is supporting me, if this faculty is supporting me, if you are a leader in your department, this faculty is supporting me, this faculty is not supporting me, based on that I will kind of determine the degree of cooperation that I'm going to give her or him. Because sometimes what happens is you are partners in crime, in the professional life also. So you have to adhere to the value system. You have to adhere to the basic human values, that is kindness, care, you have to be transparent, you have to adhere to that basic value system, universal human value system. And whatever core values the social worker professional have brought out, is we have not, as Indian, as India, as a country, have not come up with this code of ethics. It is being brought from international fraternity, international association, and based on the basic human values. These are service, social justice, dignity and worth of the person, importance of human relation. These are our basic universal human values. So in professionally also, we have to check ourselves whether we are faking ourselves. We have to understand whether we are adhering to it or not. You are not supposed to be in a group, and you are not supposed to kind of uh, as per your ideology, you are not supposed to be in the group and try to corner up one person who is standing with truth. So you are supposed to, all of you should be conscious enough. And with the changing situation, sometimes a faculty might commit some mistake. So that mistake needs to, why, what was his or her intention of committing that mistake, that needs to be assessed with, and that needs to be fairly judged, that needs to be corrected if it is unintentional. If it is intentional, that needs to be taken into cognizance, and that needs to be given with harsh punishment, because we do away with it. Because if it is a big fish in the department, and you do away with all his or her mistakes, and then you try to catch up the small fish, which this girl is, or this boy is a value based person, and she's or he is sober, let her be cornered up. And that's how we are not supposed to indulge in that. And even in terms of dealing with our students, we have to have a fairness. No, we are not supposed to be judgmental. We have to be given them fair space to self-determine their own path and own course of action, because they also face a lot of problems in their placed agencies, right? My students, I do, I do, social work practicum, concurrent field work, and so they come with a lot of dilemmas. And also, I always tell them, as a trainee social worker, you've got to have some patience. You've got to have some, you have to endure all this. You have to face all this situation, come out victorious, and you have to understand, you've got to learn. And during the time you are learning, your ego has to take a back seat, and then become very, very conscious and cautious to act sensibly, not be driven by your egos, not be driven by your your power, your social status and all that. Okay, you've got to be fair. So you have to give importance to every individual, you have to respect. And sometimes what happens is, your client comes and you are not able to give him or her the best, to that person. And somewhere you are kind of dilemmatic, you are in a dilemmatic situation as how to overcome, how to help her to help herself to overcome the situation. So that time you have to look around to your colleagues and look up to them, and then you have to seek help from others to resolve the issues. So you should not have that, you should not be bounded with that ego, that, oh, I will not take his help, if that would lower my position and all. We've got to be very conscious. Integrity, where we've got to have a lot of integrity, not only in terms of right for For example, I am a faculty, so I'll give that example. In writing also, when you are developing a topic and all, so I always make it a point, when I'm developing a topic, I will have my own topic. I will pulling in the resources on my mind, what I've learned since my childhood. I try to pull in, I try to see the problems and challenges in the day-to-day life, what I experience, and I bring out my issues from there. And that's where you become creative. That's where you develop creativity, because when you are working hard, pressing your mind, pressing your mind, brain to think, that's where you develop the creativity. Students, copying is very easy. GP, what is that? G chat, right? So all this AI and all is helping you to even write an application. But where is that learning? you know Earlier, earlier teachers, we were taught by, had a very strong grip on grip on not only value system. They used to have a lot of values in their personality, but they had a lot of knowledges. They had, because they have read so many things, they have learned so many things through experiences. So we could not beat them. When they used to enter, they had some divinic, divine you know appearance, and they had such personality. We used to fear them, we used to respect them. On seeing them itself, we used to develop that respect. But nowadays, youth, I am getting to see young professors and all who are joining, they are very shallow. What is the reason? We've got to check, introspect. And as senior professors and all, we've got to help them to understand very, very manner, and have brush up with their egos and all, and they have to learn. And when you learn, your head has to bend down in surrender to receive the knowledge. Earlier, the gurus used to be such respected. You cited many times, love you. He did not have one single set of rules. Give it when he asked. That's of niche, it had. And that's for the reason is beautiful, belong to outside person. So, and that reason, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is more, though face losses, a person would have turned out to be the kind of atrocities he faced during his childhood, throughout his life, the discrimination, atrocity. The person would have turned out to be a criminal, but he became so selfless. He did not poison his mind and soul, but he converted that experience, bitter experience, into a fruitful outcome. And that is Constitution today. India's Constitution is recognized so widely and so respectfully. And though it's inculcation of UK and USA Constitution, but it is very prestigious because every line has its own meaning, conspicuous or unconspicuous. Everything is there. These days I'm teaching disability, so every word touches, like, diversity. Every line, right to equality, right to life. So that is being given to, irrespective of the class, caste, and identity. Even Divyang could relate with the constitution, though it doesn't, the disability was not mentioned in the constitution, but they can read that 2016 legislation have been created, right? So, uh, where there is fairness in society. So, such person from outside community has become so powerful. So why he has become powerful? Because he had this sense of determination. He had integrity in his personality. He had a personality which embraced his soul of higher caste, and he so ready, offered in his title that your title is going to bring in your options, noble. So, everything in life we don't judge when we see on the in our Facebook posts and all, people are posting my achievement. We say it's achievement, this was achievement and all. But what that person has endured, that level of achievement, we have to look into that. What he has sacrificed, what he has endured in his life. So that's how you build your integrity, your competence, what do I say? Your the faithfulness, confidence in people, credibility that will your value system is going to develop, your personality, your credibility, integrity is going to develop your image in the society, image in the activity, image in your circle. And there are people, if somebody is good in is created, I have come across this person who is running the race with you, but he or she is here. First of all, along with racing with you, he will enjoy toppers you down. He toppers you down. Such personalities I have in and around me. He or she will ensure, I make her way difficult. And those people are, highly determined people. They are committed to doing wrong to people. But, today in the morning, I was speaking to Dr. Mary. He was part of the team with Ravindra sir, who is the organizer of this program, present program where I'm presenting. She said, anyone who is disturbing a lady, disturbing any professional, and with ill objective, ill intention, anybody is putting boulders in your race, on your way, in your value-based ways, would be punished by them divine. Because divine action is there. There is some divinic energy that plays as per the karma will be given back. So that let me think that yes, it is true. So thank you to her and to let me know that. And another one is is competence. Competence is what you have to always update your knowledge. You cannot be a redundant person to think, oh, I have PhD. Oh, I have a lot of knowledge. I'm becoming a professor, a senior most professor, and I'm here to rest and live. So you've got to see how the youths are coming up now. The latest NEP 2020 is giving right to young professional to do, a young student to indulge in such. But one thing I would like to point out here is when a young mind is giving a right to research, And, just to bring out their creativity, we have to ensure that they are experiencing life. That's the reason earlier people, they did, whatever research has been done, is so effective till today. Today, the vibrancy of the research, the ideology is still prevailing. We still adhere to it because that is so well researched with experience, with personal observation, with personal experiences they have endured in their life. So, hence, the confidence comes with that. Last time one of the faculty has posted that one engineer has been, employed. There's a big ship that was created, and there was some malfunctioning in the ship. So this technician was called. The technician came and tried to correct that problem, but this particular guy really was called, and he was to charge very heavy. Then this person, what he did was he opened up. What he did was he got one hammer and he just hit it, tuck 3 times, on some side. I don't know, he goes out of whatever, he listened to the machine, he tried to listen to some sound, which is not for us, not for, yeah. So this, as a professional, he just examined, he just hit that right button, and the big giant ship started running. He has the model. So he said, give me my price, in 5 or 10 minutes. He said, give me my fee. So the owner denied. He said, other engineers came and looked around and opened and this, that. How could you charge full amount for hammering thrice? So he was questioned. I said, don't question the time, the amount of time I have invested in correcting your problem. My investment of 5 minutes has endurance of 50 years. 50 years is my childhood, I have learned under the guidance of my father. I became a mechanic, I became assistant, and then onwards, I started befriending the machine. Even though I don't have, a professional degree, but I deserve the fee because I corrected. I sense it. Your engineers have spent half an hour, 1 hour, but I could sense the problem. So I hit the right button. Otherwise, even though who competent, all the engineers who competent, they would have hit and corrected. Why couldn't they sense that? Sense that skill to hit the right button twice, 3 times. So that, shocked the owner, and he was obliged to pay the full amount. Then that day he said, oh, yes, competence. No matter you are professional, you're not a degree holder, you are a deserved person with your confidence. And that's for the reason Ramveer and Indian socialist water conservationist. He is a water conservation into water conservation, pond beautification, water reason, what I have in India, Ramveer. So, unfortunately, I have taken some, I was supposed to take children for camp, and we had taken to one area very nearby to Noida, little outskirt from Amity University. There we got to see how Tanwar had visited that place and replenish the regenerated the pond, the wetland this village used to have. So the people were gaga about him. And I said, is he a social worker? They said, he is more than a social worker. आप लोग डिग्री लेकर आप लोग आए हो विजिट करने, बट हमारे लिए वो एक डिवाइन सोल है, सोशल एक्टिविस्ट है. सो ही इज बीइंग ऑनर्ड with a lot of awards and all. So your competence is going to take you to heights, right? Another person I would like to cite example is Rajendra Singh. He is water conservationist, and he's environmentalist. He was a homeopathy doctor, and he was serving in Alwar. So all these people, they said he is so, I have seen his podcast and all, where he was addressing, and I have seen he was invited to US, and he was interacting with US delegates and all. He was sharing that being an educated doctor, we don't need your medicines, we need water. The villagers, they demanded. So that led him to really plan for water sources, because that land was already totally dried up. The soil was totally dried up. Famine was experienced by that area and all. So hence, what happened is, Rajendra Singh started a mission. He started examining the soil. He contacted with many other professionals. So, and then he started understanding the soil and all. And he was so determined that he would, kind of, you would bring a new change. You would bring a new change in this village, and he actually brought that change. So that's how you have to be competent. Now I will take you to the journey of understanding what is code of ethics. So I'll do it very quickly in 5 minutes time. The social work, conduct, and behavior. As a social worker, we have to behave properly. We have to be very conscious of our conduct. But sometimes there are people who would try to they are not understanding what environment, very toxic environment they are creating for that particular person, and they are just highlighting the colleagues reaction. We should not do that. If we are indulging in malpractices and making some colleagues life difficult, that thing is awaited for you. So every time be conscious of your behavior, your conduct, because you have to pay price for your malpractices, right? We have to ensure that. Social worker ethical responsibility to client. The privacy of clients needs to be maintained. He or she has to be given equal opportunity, self-determination, give a space to share his or her opinions, whatever, give a space to share her ordeals. So all that needs to be given space too. So the social worker ethical responsibility to colleagues, respect, fairness, and courtesy. We've got to be courteous. We have to, whatever is our position, we've got to be very humble. Humbleness in life is going to fetch lot of dignity, lot of respect in life. That's for the reason we get to see earlier old people commanded lot of respect. These days, youngsters and new generation, they are not commanding such respect, even though they are old. But why they are able to command respect? Not because they were highly educated, they had a lot of knowledge, and they had wisdom. They run their life with wisdom. So with wisdom, we've got to conduct ourselves and respect each other, respect our professional fraternity. Okay, the social worker ethical responsibility to employers and employing organization, social worker as an employee. We've got to be very, very careful as an employer. We've got to ensure that you are giving fair opportunities to all the employees, not based on what you are going to get back from the employee or get back from the colleague, or favoritism to the students who are going to give you something. I've seen there are those kind of colleagues are existing in and around me, those who are just favoring certain set of people just because they are taking you here and there in their cars. They are able to use their resources, rich students resources. So that is so ugly of that's so you know you stoop down so low to kind of stoop down so low to uh, kind of grow yourself as a professional. We should not, because environment is so magnetic. What do you do? Attract the same thing. So your karma is going to fetch you uh, every odd things. So be cautious of that. Social worker ethical responsibility to the social work professional, maintaining the integrity of the professional in our speech, in our writing, in our conduct. We have to be full of values. We have to be conscious of code of ethics. We have to be conscious of, if we are into pleasurism, we've got to check ourselves whether we are copying from somebody. If those ideas is of somebody, you can always do review of literature and all. Based on what has been done, you can always kind of pull in some idea and all. But you are not supposed to copy. And paraphrasing, is also a malpractice. You put in your own. What I do is, even to determine my topic, I don't indulge in looking into. I think, what is the need of the hour? What I can bring some change to one person in my community, in my among my children. I conceive like that, and I try to present that. So that gives originality to your professional, domain. That gives originality to your presentation. And that's for the reason people understand that, yes, whatever you are delivering is original. That's for the reason you have flow in your presentation, because that's what I consciously do. And then that's why somehow the recognition you get, the consideration you get in terms of writing the paper, in terms of writing the chapter, because they know, the professional, the high level professional, they know whether this belongs to her or not, whether she's into copying or not. You have to have a very distinguished thinking. You need to have very, very different creative thinking. Your writing has to depict that you are not copying from some famous author and all. So be original, because when you are original, your brain cells are working in favor of you. You will develop your own originality. And then hence you don't have to be afraid of plagiarism. I do not undertake my paper through plagiarism check, because I'm so determined, I'm so confident of the fact that every line I write is coming out of my experience, coming out of my endurance, coming out of my observation. So that's the reason I'm very confident. I never undertake plagiarism check until it is required, if it is a protocol, and then I do it. The social worker ethical responsibility to society promoting the general welfare. So, as has been taught by our Babu, the father of the nation, that whenever you are innovating something, you are coming out with your creativity, coming out with your machine devices and all, your new invention and all, ensure that is properly saved, not only in your favor, but favor of all the whole society, your family, your society, your community, nation, universe as a whole, and in a sustainable manner. Not for 10 years, not for 100 years, but eternally. Because new generation will come. We have to gift this natural nature to them. This era, take my word, because this is going to YouTube. I would like to announce, if this generation, our generation today, very confidently I announce, if this generation are not conscious, confident, and assess themselves well in order to determine our future, there we are ready to face, because environmentally we have due to reckless construction, due to our not need, greed, due to greed of our position, due to your pride, you are sucking the tunnels to Kailash, which is supposed to be a Vedic place, which is supposed to be a divine place, which is supposed to be untouched. I have lived in Sikkim. Sikkim, half north portion is full of divinely, such divinely places are there. While I was deputed to ISRO, that time a team of almost 25 scientists had gone. I, being the project scientist, we were working on horticulture development in the northern part of Sikkim. So I was working with Council for Science and Technology. I was deputed to ISRO, and it is very places that you want to see Shivaji place, Shivaji Bell, it's so divinely place that, and almost because by the time you reach that top of the hill, it is a steep hill, but on the top there's a lake. That is what is called Gurudongmar Lake, and there are most city spells. So you have whatever are your wishes, or if you are talking to the divine, if you want pray to God, you pray with the prayer, whatever are your prayers, you know you want to say things, and then you say, God, I want the life to be better for me and everyone. I want people to live a natural life. I want farmers and cows and cows and all the animals get back their place, their pasture land. That's how I prayed when I went there. I was full of tears. When I reached there, it was so divinely feeling, and nothing you see. There are then different places worship. There was church that is built. There's small mandir that is made. There's small monastery that's created. Small structure where you go sit and offer prayer. It is untouched. You cannot keep fit. You cannot afford it, because if you be back home, and that's what is going to be for you. So you're not supposed to. So such kind of places are there. So we have to ensure our pride is not going to be a problem for future generation to come, and even present. A politician has to be conscious that just keep your position, power, your pride. You should not be the nation to kind of to touch the divine place, the sacred places. So it is my message to all the politicians, all the stakeholders, that engineers, the urban planners, and we have to give natural way of living. We have to give natural way of survival the next generation to come. We have to inculcate values in ourselves to teach the best or guide the best way path to our generations come. Because we will collapse. One day we will not be there. Dr. Chandrakala will not be there. Nobody of us today who are talking would be here, but our next generation are going to be here. They should not be a confused, mentally retarded, mentally challenged, mentally ill people roaming around in wilderness. We have to give them a clear sense of direction. We have to give them a clear sense of values. We have to give them a one line, common line of practices. Google should not teach them. Google is, we have to teach our children to only access what is being taught in line with what are our Indic values. We have to ensure every mother, the way I do, every mother, every teacher has a responsibility to ensure and what our next generation is going to learn. Okay, and we have to correct if there are bad fathers, if there are bad people, grandfather, grandmother, or anybody who is there in our family members. We have to teach them. We have to bring their consciousness alive to understand what is correct and how to. Sometimes what happens is mothers are teaching good values to children. So suddenly the mother-in-law shouts from the back, oh, let them, they will learn on their own. No, if you want to teach your daughter-in-law, let that happen in, secret. But let the mother do her duties as a mother. Because as a mother, she's a conscious mother. And she is not a well-prepared and born as a mother, but she is also a learner. So that way, a mother-in-law has to be conscious to teach the daughter-in-law where she is not having competence, where she's not having skills. You are not supposed to criticize her. You are not supposed to judge her. You're not supposed to determine her future. And you are not supposed to interfere in husband and wife affairs. So the same way, professionally also as a social worker, we are supposed to be conscious as a head of the department, as a head of an institute, as a university vice chancellor. We all stakeholders should develop and inculcate in us. It is no late, to develop the consciousness towards values, indeed value, to develop, to inculcate in our subordinates, inculcate in our students, inculcate in our fourth class workers. We have to teach them. Today, see, the incident in Kolkata has happened. What has happened? The doctor has been, has had to undergo such trauma that what she must have felt to be, raped by, just because she decided to rest, in seminar hall. She's supposed to face such destiny that, mass rape, uh, I mean, she's found with, a lot of fluids and all. She was found with blood oozing out from her eyes. So it is dangerous than Nirbhaya. It is same as Nirbhaya. So Anna, how many Nirbhayas are supposed to sacrifice their life? And where we are going. So that's for the reason, as a mother, as a professional, as a HOD, you have to check if things are not going. You are not supposed to be obliged to the big fish in the, in your, as a HOI, you are not supposed to wrongly judge. You have to judge as per the degree of mistake, as per who has committed the. You need to have fairness of judgment. As a mother, as a teacher, as a HOI, as a vice chancellor, you are not supposed to be engulfed with pride. Today you have to give justice to your chair. So that needs to be very consciously planned. I have even come across with such colleague where they want the class representatives and all, they instigate and they try to kind of disturb your mental stability, to see your negative reaction. And you have to be conscious. You have to be conscious of the wolves that are in and around you, and do not uh, stop becoming value based person. Do not stop becoming sensible person. Do not stop becoming a person with mind and consciousness. Do not stop becoming competent, competent professional. So we have to be very conscious of that. So with this, I would like to end. I've taken a lot of time, because when I start speaking as a professional, you try to pull in all the, all that you have learned through your observation, through your experiences and all. So here, whatever I had to present, I presented. Ravindra sir, thank you once again for the responsibility and the opportunity you have given me in this platform to present what I wanted to present. And all the leaders of this country, all the leaders of this across the world have to understand that we are supposed to lead ourselves and our next generation towards the best future for now and forever. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. The elaborate session on ethics, morals, and especially how to conduct ourselves in providing social service, and the principles that govern our profession and practice, the kind of values social workers need to inculcate in providing their valuable services to the society. And as you rightly pointed out, even today, even in the learned community also, there is lack of consciousness, a kind of, not everyone, but still we see incidences where things are on the darker side. So, as you rightly pointed out, we need to thoroughly look into the context of whatever is happening, why it has happened, and what can be done to avoid. And if it was intentional, then appropriate measures also have to be taken so that it doesn't repeat in future. And even in the profession, it is not always the rosy walk. We have seen time and again, various stalwarts in the profession also spoke about this profession. Though we call ourselves as professional social workers, but still, the expectation from the public or from the community is more of a social service, or, a kind of where people are looking forward as a first responder, where we have to be a first responder whenever a need arises. So that's why, at the same time, managing the need and as well as the greed, as ma'am has rightly pointed out, it is essential to strike a balance between the need and greed and always try to be the first responder. In COVID time also, many of us, felt less privileged because most of them, unless and until who are into clinical psychiatric social work, were not proactively in the services. But we were still able to contribute in different ways. So, in a similar way, the expectation of the people, community especially, has to be met along with awareness that needs to be created, which is generally prevalent when it comes to the kind of services social worker provides. So all these aspects are there, uh, which have been being discussed since years. I mean, when the social work was originated, until still we have a long way to go, but there are a lot of efforts that are being put by the fraternity, and slowly things are becoming more favorable. More and more social workers are being recognized, and the specializations are also emerging up where social worker is able to find a broader scope for his services. In this context, there is a need of social worker in every context, every profession, every discipline as such. It's more of interdisciplinary. Like, of course, we can think it is an independent discipline, but at the same time, it is also interdependent discipline. As we take a whole body as an entire universe, we have physiology, anatomy, pathology, though they are independent faculties, but still they are under the umbrella science known as, human medicine or human body. So we need more and more super specialty, subspecialties, but at the same time, we are still related, interconnected to various disciplines. The multi-sectorial or interdisciplinary approach that is required, we need to be more conscious about that in delivering the services and training, upskilling ourselves in various avenues with ethics, morals, and appropriate conduct that will help us to re-establish ourselves and establish ourselves in the service in the short and long run. Thank you, ma'am, for your deliberate dissemination of knowledge that was delivered by your session. And we congratulate you and once again thank you. With your presence, you have made a value addition to these celebrations. And we invite any queries, feedback from participants. Feel free to share. Unmute yourself quickly and you can share your feedback. You can use chat box or you can raise your hand or you can unmute yourself one by one.
Thank you, Ravindra sir. Thank you, Ravindra sir, for your appreciation. And any question or any inputs anybody has, you can always share.
Yes, ma'am. So I think There are only a few appreciation messages, but I don't see query. But yes, you can also use the feedback form to share your feedback or appreciation observations on the session. So yeah, we do understand it was a bit delayed. So without taking much time, I once again thank and express my gratitude to Dr. Chandrakila Diyali ma'am for joining us on this Independence Day celebrations and also as part of 5th National Social Work Week celebrations. And we wish you all the success, ma'am, for your future building endeavors and look forward for more sessions in future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Dear participants, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form before you leave the platform. The feedback form is being shared now in the form of polls. So we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls. So we thank each and everyone today, all the participants, all the presenters who have presented today and for their valuable contributions. Before ending, we have one song being presented by Shhfi Sricasw. Before I express my vote of thanks, I would like to invite Shhfi Sricasw for the song. Shhfi, once you fill the feedback form, we request you to quickly fill the feedback form and then we can enable you. Because once we give you permission, then you will not be able to fill the feedback form. That's why quickly fill up the feedback form. You have
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Actually, sir, I'm not getting the feedback from here where it is appearing in the chat box or where
No,
I'm
it's in the form of there might be a window that has popped up.
Okay, as I'm logging through the mobile, actually, I'm not able to find it out.
Or otherwise, you can see the polls and quizzes option in the menu. If you click on that, you will find.
Okay. Yes, sir. The polls quizzes option, sir. I have
Once you fill it up quickly.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Or you can also start your, this thing. Afterwards, you can also fill it as per your convenience. Would like to start the song?
Yes, sir. First, I would like to present it. Then only.
Okay.
It would be better.
Yeah. You will be able to see the form. Don't close it. Just minimize it. Keep it minimized so that others can fill it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you can switch on your video as well.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shhfi Sricasw and I'm from Kolkata. It is a great privilege and honor for me to be a part of this program today. This year, we are celebrating the 78th Independence Day of India. It is a historic day when India was declared independent from British colonialism. Independence Day celebrates justice, equality, and self-determination. It reminds the nation of the sacrifices of our great freedom fighters. Patriotism is in our heart. To express the patriotism, to pay tribute to the great freedom fighters, I would like to present a patriotic bhajan. It is a Gujarati bhajan which was written in the 15th century by the great poet NARSIMH Mehta. Vaishnava Janato Tine Kahiye Je. Please pardon my flaws. वैष्णव जन तो सीने कहिए जी, पीर पराई जाने रे। वैष्णव जन तो सीने कहिए जी, पीर पराई जाने रे। पर दुखे उपकार करे तो ये मन अभिमान ना आने रे। वैष्णव जन तो सीने कहिए जी, सकल लोक सहुने निंदा न करे हे नीरे। बाच काच मन निश्चल राखे, धन धन जननी के नीरे। वैष्णव जन तो सीने कहिए जी, समदृष्टि तृष्णा त्यागी, पर श्री जेने मात रे। जीव्या था कि असत न बोले, पर धन नव जाने हाथ रे। वैष्णव जन तो सीने कहिए जी, मोह माया व्यापी नहीं जे, दृढ़ वैराग जीना मन मान रे। राम नाम सुन ताली लागी, सकल तीरथ दीना तन मन रे। वैष्णव जन तो सीने कहिए जी, वन लोभी कपट रहित छे, काम क्रोधनी वार्या रे। वाणी नरसैयो तेनु दर्शन करता, कुल एक तेरो तार्या रे। वैष्णव जन तो सीने कहिए जी, पीर पराई जाने रे। पर दुखे उपकार करे तो ये मन अभिमान ना आने रे। वैष्णव जन तो सीने कहिए जी। थैंक यू। Thank you so much once again for giving me this opportunity, and I wish you all a very happy Independence Day and a happy Social Workers Week, which is starting from today onwards till 21st of August. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Suraviji. It was a very nice song, and it's quite popular also. The kind of emotions and feelings, that we go through while listening songs. Wonderful song and very well presented. And
thank you, sir.
Thank you once again. A special thanks to all the organizing team and also on behalf of all the presenters. And we wish you all the success for your future endeavors.
Thank you.
So friends, with this, we shall conclude today's sessions. We apologize for delay. that has caused as part of sessions. So we'll continue to celebrate our Independence Day celebrations and also part of social work week. So we have till Wednesday, that is till 21st. So whoever has missed this opportunity of presenting today, this entire week you can utilize this opportunity to make presentations or to make any cultural performances like music, song or dance, or you can deliver talk or poster presentation, anything, whichever is feasible. For this, entire week, you can kindly circulate this information among your friends, colleagues, and you can also invite them to be part of these celebrations. So at the end of the celebrations, that is on Wednesday, we'll be sharing you feedback form, which is overall for the entire 1 week celebrations through Google form, like you are registering through Google form. After filling that Google form feedback, you will be getting your certificates. So day-to-day basis also, you'll be getting certificates, like every day you'll be getting certificates, so that whichever day you are attending, at least on that day, you'll be getting. So that's why every day also, no need to register through Google form every day. Once you register, that's enough for the entire week. And daily, when you are joining the conference on that day, you kindly fill up the Zoom registration form and feedback form that marks the attendance for that day and makes you eligible for the certificate for that day. Once you fill, after completion of this 1 week celebrations, when you fill the overall feedback form, the system will automatically check the registration form and the attendance, the daily you are providing, and it will also check the overall feedback form and it will automatically generate. So we request everyone to follow the guidelines carefully so that everyone gets their certificates. So we request everyone to quickly fill the feedback form. And last conference regarding, Rania Janati, you have not filled the feedback form. You can visit the website. There is a link there. For the last event, you can fill the feedback form and wait for some time, because we are waiting for all the participants to complete. We give you time of 24 hours, even after completion of events. But, many haven't filled the feedback form for the last event, not this event, I'm telling, because there is a message. So you can go complete the formalities, and in few days we'll be issuing the certificates for that. There is a time gap because we have continuous events, and to avoid repeated work, so we are putting some time for the participants and presenters as well as for the organizers to generate all certificates at once. So don't be in a hurry. Wait and complete your details, and without completing, system will not generate, because it is not handled by any person manually. It is automatically generated by the system. So you have to follow so that system has the data in time and it automatically generates the certificates. So ensure that you are completing your details, because just before some time only I checked who all have filled the feedback. I couldn't find your name. That's why I'm telling you to complete it. So any other queries? You can use chat box to share. See, there is only system and we have formats for everything. You need to follow this format. We cannot go out of system and do anything. So the minimum basic eligibility criteria is you have to register. For any event, there are a lot of events happening online and offline. For every event, you need to register. And because it is not possible for you to register in Zoom platform, only when session starts, you can access the registration and feedback forms in Zoom platform. Of course, now we have feature also where we can share the link, but earlier it was not there. There was an additional registration form that has a different mechanism, but now we have that facility also. But what we are doing, we are giving the Google registration form where whoever is interested can register themselves as collaborator, co-signatory, or presenter, participant, panelist, whichever option you are choosing. And after that, you need to join the conference in the mentioned dates and attend. And on that day, whichever day you are attending, you need to fill the feedback form, the registration form, as well as the feedback form in Zoom platform. No need to fill Google form again. And at the end of the event, you need to fill the Google feedback form after the event. So this is the minimum formalities you need to complete, and you need to maintain minimum attendance for participants so that you will be eligible for the certificate. And presenters also, these formalities are applicable for the presenters as well if they are planning for both presentation certificate and participation certificate. If we are only interested in participation certificate, then all these will apply except the minimum attendance. You confirm yourself. Kindly, if you have any difficulty, you check the website, read instructions are there. Don't assume anything because, unless and until we complete the formality, system will not generate and system will not, consider any kind of exceptions. We have to do, there is no other option. We have to follow it. We have to do it. Otherwise, system will not do. No, we know even a small space also can create a difference in the system. So we'll not be doing it any manual entry work. You have to do by yourself, and your certificate is your responsibility. We are providing all the opportunities, but it is your duty to complete all the formalities and help us in conducting, in organizing smoothly. Whoever follows will be getting the benefit. See, already you are attending, you are gaining knowledge, and you are getting the opportunity for presentation. You also have the opportunity to get your certificates, but all you have to follow all the guidelines, instructions mentioned on the website or in the registration, because this is not which we are creating manually. System will automatically generate, and once they are generated, we are sharing it. So we are taking time. If you can't find your certificate or if you are unable to complete it, in that case, you can reach to us. But most of the time, The technical difficulties are very rare, technical issues. So kindly go through the instructions carefully and follow them. Even for presentation also, there are presentation guidelines you need to follow. So kindly follow those, and participation, as I have mentioned, you can go through the instructions. And also one more mistake we all are doing is kindly try to log in with the same name as you have registered, so that your attendance, whatever your attendance is there, that is mapped appropriately to the registered name and the feedback name. So otherwise, we have to manually map, and again, that is a consuming task. As we all know, we are preoccupied with so many things, and this is not a commercial platform. And we all are helping each other so that this platform provides opportunities for everyone. So we all have time constraints. We all have resource constraints. So the more complaints we are towards our system and our formalities, that will make it easier. We cannot intervene manually anywhere because that is a time consuming, resource consuming task, which we will not be able to do it. Earlier we were doing, but because of that, lot of time and resources are being consumed. So now, nowadays we are not doing that. It is your responsibility. We can only help you to the extent, if you can contact us with proper details, we can help you whether you have completed or not. So it is your responsibility in a timely manner to complete. Recheck if you think that you might have completed, but you did not actually complete, or you did not understand the instructions carefully. So you need to understand that there are two kinds of registrations and two kinds of feedback. One is for the overall event. Overall event, there is Google registration form and Google feedback form that is mandatory for everyone. For overall event, see, you need a pass, right? Gate pass to enter into the campus. So to get onto the platform officially, you need to register yourself, and you need to provide feedback for that event overall. But how your eligibility is determined is through attendance. For that attendance, because we have observed many people, they are attending directly, and a lot of these issues are there. So that's why we have put day-to-day attendance, and we are giving day-to-day certificates, because some people are not able to attend some days. So they will lose the opportunity of not getting certificate for all the days, because it is only one certificate earlier for the entire event. So that's the reason we have shifted to day-to-day basis, so that whichever day you are attending and you are fulfilling the eligibility criteria, on that day you are registering and providing feedback in the Zoom platform. That is not just enough. You need to also, even if you attend one day also, and you are providing registration and feedback in Zoom, you also need to fill the overall events registration form and feedback form, irrespective of number of days you attend. So many people are not doing that. That's why you are facing this problem. Some people are just filling the registration form and feedback form, but they are not filling the registration form and feedback form in Zoom platform on that particular day. So it is mandatory. Kindly go through the instructions carefully and follow them, so that we all can comfortably work together and take maximum benefit of this opportunity. So hope that is clear. Even if you have any doubts, we are sharing the website link. You can go there. All details are there on the website. You need not worry. But we cannot provide one-to-one support as this is not a commercial platform. You can visit website. There you can find appropriate details on the main page itself. Kindly go through them and complete them. Still there is time. We are giving ample time for everyone to complete their formalities. So no need to worry. So hope everyone had filled their feedback form today in Zoom platform. If not, quickly fill up the feedback form. Once you have filled the feedback form, you may leave the platform. So thank you once again, everyone, for joining us on this 78th Independence Day celebration and 77 years of Indian independence and 5th National Social Work Week celebrations. So we will continue. Those who could not present can choose any day in this week, entire week from today till 21st, and make your presentations. And those who are completing their presentations, ensure that you are also completing your formalities so that you can be eligible for the certificates. So once again, happy Independence Day to all of you. See you all tomorrow with the same joining link. Take care. Good night.